And then you should end up with something like this. So the shaders are still from Alias, so they're really crap, but we won't worry about that just yet. And it will help anyway with assigning at different shaders. You can either use like the graph, which should be down here. If it isn't, then it might be because your simple UI is turned on. You just have to turn that off, and you have the layout like I have here. And the graph will contain your model and the environment. Just open up there and you see all the layers that we took so much time to sort out in Alias are now transferred into VRED. That's why it's so good. And you can just select things individually. At the moment that is selected, but you can only tell via a box, so I like to use the wireframe so you can see exactly what's selected. You literally just select each layer, and within the layers are of course the nodes that we took so long to sort out as well. And that will help again with assigning shaders. So yeah, the other important things to note down are how to rotate and pan around the model. So it's a little bit different to Alias. Like in Alias you usually hold Alt Shift to rotate around the model, but this time you don't need to touch the keyboard at all, and you just use the left mouse button and you can rotate around the car. To pan around the car, it's the middle mouse button, and to zoom in and out you can either use the right mouse clicker or the roller. And to change like the pivot of your camera, you literally just double tap like on an area of the car. So if I like double click with the left mouse button on the wheel, the pivot point will end up around the wheel. If I double click to the center of the car, the pivot point will be around the center of the car. Okay, so now we just want to make sure all the normals are flipped correctly. So we go into scene and we go into where is it? Geometry editor? Just trying to remember now. No, visualize, sorry. Vertex face normal rendering. So yeah, it all needs to be green, and it's so close to being perfect. There's just a couple of slabs that aren't, and that's just VRED being weird. Now to fix that, I'm trying to remember what I do. Yep, you hold down Alt and click the right mouse button, and there you go. Just completely flip those pretty easily. Let's have a look if this one will work. Hold down Alt, and there's so there you go. That didn't work. So in order to stop that from happening, you try a different mouse click. So you hold down Alt and click the right mouse button, and there you go. That worked this time without flipping everything else. And yeah, that's generally what I use, the right mouse button, to flip those individual normals. Just do it everywhere you can see where it's purple. Here this will be left mouse button, and that should flip. And here as well should be left mouse button because it's one object. Here this shut gap is part of the body, so I feel like as soon as I flip this it will flip the body, but let's try left mouse button. Okay, that worked okay, good. Here as well, nice. There's a few not flipped on here, so I think this is going to be a bit more tricky. Yep. So right mouse button. What about this one? That one's okay, left mouse button. That one not so much, so right mouse button. And you just got to kind of flip between the two, whichever one works best, right or left mouse button, you try to get it to flip the correct way. See, I just used left mouse button and that didn't like it, so right mouse button is. There's a gap there, that's my mistake, my modelling. Hopefully you fix that in your model. If not, it's not a big deal. Look at all these. Yeah, didn't like it when I used the left mouse button. So you'll do them individually with the right mouse button. And these bad boys. There's a double surface there, so that's not good. Those are the kind of things you need to check before you put it into VRED, but I got lazy. Just try not to do too many. So I just flipped the normal of the environment as well, because that was facing the wrong way. There's a little guy down here. Let's try right mouse button. Nice. And then the rear. I reckon right mouse button. Yeah. Nice. And you'll have to check the headlamp details as well. Like, I feel like there's going to be a few details under that glass that we need to check, so let's do that. Graph, tail lamp. I thought I named the tail lamp. That's annoying. I forgot to name the tail lamp, so we just have to guess. Where's the glass? There it is. And all those normals are pretty much flipped apart from that one. There's a gap. It's okay. And then the headlamp. Yeah, I labelled those ones. Where's the glass? Nearly. Oh. Cool. Okay, now what we have to do is bake the car so the shadows and reflections are correct. So to do that, we right click up on this tab here, no, sorry, there, on that bar, and then we find bake light and shadows right at the top. We select the entire car to actually save it at this point, because it can be annoying if it crashes and then you got to flip the normals all over again. So save as, yeah, VRED project 14, whatever. We'll save it in desktop. Save. And then we select the entire car. Ambient occlusion, yep. Subdivision, enable. I'd say no, we'll leave that for now. We just use that for the ground, ground shadow. Let's do medium there, that's fine. Medium, yeah. Let's see how it goes. Calculate all. And then you just got to leave it, and it'll take a little bit of time. Go and get some tea or coffee or water, whatever you drink. And hopefully by the time you get back it'll be baked. Okay, and now that should all be baked. And to make sure it is, you can check with visualize ambient occlusion rendering and see what it looks like. It's looking pretty good. There's some weird bits going on here, but you literally just select those individually, those areas where there's weird shadow, and bake them with a higher quality and subdivision. So let's do that. So to select individually, you hold down the shift key. So you can select individual. I don't know why that's happening, that's really weird. Anyway. Or to add to selection, you hold down shift and control, and you can add to your selection. A bit weird here as well. And then the floor. Maybe inside. That's annoying. That one's individual, but that isn't. Stupid. Anyway. Right, and then go back to, bake light and shadows. Enable subdivision. Set that to high quality. Set all of these to high. And I want to calculate selected. It should calculate everything that's selected. Yeah. So you can tell that it's only calculating the selected, because if it was calculating everything, this would take a lot more time. But it's good. And there you go. Let's fix those weird issues going on there. Oh, there's actually a bit here on the chrome sill as well. fix that. Bake light and shadows. A bit weird here as well. So yeah, any area where it's a little bit weird, just do that again and again. Yep, calculate all. Too much in between these little holes because they're going to be black anyway. Just the areas where it's like obvious in its body colour, you want it to be a bit nicer. So there you go. Got a really nice clean looking ambient occlusion model. And now we want to assign shaders, so you go back into visualization, realistic rendering, and first of all I think it's important to change the environment because the way your shaders look depend a lot on the environment they're in, and I don't want to use this boring studio-like environment. I want to use something a bit more interesting. So to find your environments, you go into Asset Manager and Environments, open this folder up, and you'll find there's none there. That's annoying. Oh, come on. I think, yeah, this version of VRED you have to download the environments. So let me see if they're in materials. Okay, so after a bit of digging, I managed to find the Asset Manager. You basically need to go to the Autodesk website and sign in. I assume you managed to get a free trial of VRED, so you can do this. And then under the download free trial, there's a download asset library for VRED. And you also have to make sure that you have turned off your pop-up blocker, because if you don't do that, then it won't download the entire, like all the files for the Asset Manager. So I was just having trouble with that for a while, but I managed to find a comment in a forum that explained what to do. So now I've got it. You download, install it, then restart VRED, and then when you right click, you'll have all your Autodesk VRED assets, which include environments and materials. And it's really helpful, and scene plates as well, which are good for final renders. Excuse me. But the main thing is, right, environment. I'm going to just pick one that looks reasonably realistic and go with that. It's always a bit difficult to decide like what one is my favourite. I don't really have a favourite. I like the desert, but an Audi A6 in the desert isn't the most realistic. Pacific Road's a good one. Winding Road's okay. I think I'm going to go with the airfield though, just because it's so simple and crisp. And you can just get some good like normal reflections and light on this, so let's go with that. Right, and now we will start to assign shaders. So you go into materials. Oh, let me just check something actually. I want to see if there's a scene plate for the airfield, and if there isn't, then what do I do? I guess this one looks similar. Let me have a look. Add scene plate. It's the scene plate editor that I just right clicked there, and then you click this box up here, and it should. Okay, that's not what I wanted. And it's not adding the correct one. Yeah, weird. It's got the wrong scene plate. I don't know why. Anyway, we'll figure that out later. But for now, we'll just work on materials. Okay, so you select, basically you can just click, you hold down shift, click the left mouse button, sorry, and you'll see that updated then because it selected a part of the car which is that material. Then you can just right click and select all those nodes that are in that material, and then we want to create our own paint. So I've already created one, but I'll show you how I did it. You go into create material, and then I usually use flip-flop car paint because it just gives it a bit more depth. You can play around with the flake colors and stuff. And for the base color, I usually I want it to be green, but I don't like the base color doesn't have to be so saturated. You usually just have it around here, quite a dark base, except that. And then this is where the actual colors matter, the flake color. So yeah, just play around with that, maybe a bit more blue. See what that looks like. Looks pretty cool. And then just assign that to the selected nodes, which are already selected. And there you go, it's quite nice. And yeah, you can just play around with that as much as you like see what happens as you slide things along. It's quite cool. Bit of kind of TVR, flip-flop. Yeah, definitely good to have the base color dark. Yeah, for now that's alright. Maybe tone down the reflection a bit. Another good thing with VRED is to have two screens, because the interface isn't the best. You can play around with reflectivity. I always go for a little less reflective. Yeah, looking quite nice. Maybe a little less blue. Don't know though. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, but definitely needs to be darker. There you go. Oh no, the problem is when you go too dark, then it just gets rid of the saturation altogether, so that you lose the colour that you had, which is annoying. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool. The clear coat, yeah, that's the reflectivity. Good. Right. Looking quite cool. Looking a little bit flat though still, but once we get all the other materials assigned, it will help. Right, next, glass. You just select the. I just selected the glass there, and then it will pick the object. You select those nodes again. Just selected everything that's in that shader, and create glass. And you'll find a glass thing here. Now this one's super transparent. Obviously, when I apply those nodes, you're going to see through the car, and because I haven't got an interior, we don't want that. So you just change the exterior and interior transparency to almost 0. But we want there to be a little bit of see-through, even though there's no interior. It needs to be a little bit realistic, and make it a bit more reflective too, and that'll help. It's kind of masking, not too reflective though. Cool. Next, tyres. This is always a tricky one. And because these are mirrored tyres, we're going to have one side that's correct and the other side that isn't, but I'll show you how to fix that in VRED in a bit. So select those nodes, make sure they're all selected. Oh, interesting. Right, we don't want that. So we'll select the nodes via the graph. And annoyingly, when you do select things in VRED, it does open up all the other tabs, which is annoying. Right, wheels. Tyre. We want tyre front and tyre rear. Just get rid of this for now so I can see. Go away. Here they are. We'll just do those two tyres for now. We won't do the other side because what we're going to do is duplicate them over to the other side and hope that that works with the material that I assigned to them. Right, so now the best way to assign the tyre material is from the asset manager. VRED has a default tyre material. It does have VRED written on it, but it's the most realistic one you're going to find on here. Where is it? There it is. Apply to selected nodes. Right, and now you'll see that it's completely wrong. See, now you have to go into materials, find that material, click modify so you can adjust the material, and then you use this texture settings tab, which will be closed. You open that up and then just manipulate. So at the minute I think it's a bit small, so I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Oh, wrong way. And also move it into position. So you do that by sliding the X and Y bars. along, so at the minute I'm moving it backwards. And then in Z, I want to move it down. And then in X again, move it rearwards. And it's still a bit small, so I'm going to scale that up. Oh, undo that. That didn't work. There we go, undo. So you can use Control Z to undo what you've done. VRED's usually quite good at that. Actually, it looks too big now, so scale it down again. And you just got to keep adjusting it until, annoyingly, you can't, or maybe, yeah, you can change the scale pivot. So let's try and do that this time, if I need to. Yeah, which I do. Right, adjust scale pivot. It'll be in, oh no, it's not there. No, I'm thinking of objects. I don't know if you can do that with textures. Anyway, keep going. So it needs to be scaled up a tiny bit more. So just, and then move it along again. I'm hoping it's doing something exactly the same on the rear tyre. And then you also want to kind of, I'm going to localize this actually. So how do you do that again? I've forgotten. So this is all selected. I want to hide everything else. Isolate, there we go. Alright, and now you can see this inside texture is wrong. So we have to adjust that as well. And to do that, use this repeat, I think. No, this one, no. Undo, undo. Experiment, not working, not working. Usually it is the repeat, it's not doing anything. So that's weird. Yeah, I don't know why that's not doing anything, but it isn't. Like, it's showing that it's doing something on there, but it's not doing anything in real time. Maybe it's something to do with me isolating everything. Don't know. Oh, I see. I think I'd accidentally selected the wrong. There we go. Let's isolate it again. We can see. Right, you got to adjust these repeat profile bars. Do that in this direction. It always does something a bit strange though, like it's very difficult to fix that. I feel like it was fine the way it was. And that'll do. We'll probably calm down the intensity a bit. That'll do. So yeah, it's not perfect and it always does something a bit strange, but like it's gonna be, most of that's gonna be in shadow anyway. Does feel like it needs to be a bit smaller, so let's change the scale again. Oh. Just it in Z and Y. Oh. And that does help actually. Leave that for now. Z, X. No, it's too small again. I'm gonna have to use the keyboard and isolate. There we go. To adjust the size slightly. I don't know, 1.6. Oh, it's gone the wrong way. 1.4. 1.45. Okay, that'll do. Alright. Does it look good on the rear? No. So basically, the reason for that is I just need to like assign a different. I'll duplicate this, and I will assign that new one to this so they don't relate. And then I'll be able to manipulate it without doing anything to the rear, I hope. Let's try. X. Do anything? No, good. There you go. And then what we do is we delete these tyres on this side. 1, 2. Delete. And duplicate. Oh, sugar. My bad. Did it? Oh. Yeah, so there you go. I'll have to grab them, sorry, from the graph. Make sure I grab, yeah, because when I try and select them individually, but when I delete, yeah, weird. Yeah, it deletes them both, it shouldn't do that. So let me just see what will happen when I do this. I'll just hide one, there you go, let's do that instead. Hide it. And these guys we want to duplicate in Y. Duplicate, mirror, Y. Let's see. No, it did actually completely mirror it, so I don't know what to do. The only way is to assign. Let me try and just assign the new. Yeah, no, it hasn't done it. Rubbish. Oops. I thought that might work, but it didn't. Maybe if I try and do that. If I try duplicating it but not mirroring it. Edit. Duplicate. Yeah, there's no way of doing it unless I just completely. Screw it. Let's just keep it as it is for now. Figure that out another time. Right, next. Alloy wheels, things like that. Just keep doing what I've been doing for all the materials. You select this now. Zinc. Select nodes. Create material. Brush metal. Apply. Now these guys, I don't want them to be too bright actually, so I'm gonna make them brush metal but darker. So I'll just duplicate that. Apply to selected nodes, and I'm gonna make it darker. That's better because it was originally up there. I'll bring it down to that. The inner. Right. Select nodes. I think we'll do brush metal again, but the darker version. Apply to selected nodes. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe make it even darker, so duplicate that. Apply to selected nodes. Nice. Same for these guys. Select those. I'm just going to have them as the dark brush metal as well. No, maybe a different colour. Maybe plastic. Apply and make it much darker. Nice. Okay, what next? This guy. Oh, that's brush metal. Cool. This guy. Chrome satin, yeah, select that. We want that to be a light brush metal, so I'm probably just going to use this. No, sorry. Select node. Apply brush metal to those guys. Nice. I think I actually might make the grill like a darker. I think it looks cooler when it's like a dark chrome. Just minimize all this. Grill. Try this one. Looks a bit flat. Let's create a chrome or something. That's cool, but again, I want it to be darker. That's cool. Probably do the same for these guys because they do look flat as well. Select nodes. Dark chrome. Yeah, that's better. Oh no, I didn't want to select all of them. Damn. Alright, it's okay. We'll just select those individually. Oh my god. Can't see anything. Let's get rid of that. So I'm holding down shift, I'm holding down shift and control now. So I can select more than one thing at a time. And apply to selected nodes. It's nicer. Right, glass for the headlamps. Select nodes. So this one can be transparent glass and it looks a much better when it's a VRED assigned shader. Let's give it a bit more reflectivity maybe. Not too much, just a bit. It's cool. Yep. Maybe a little bit less transparency, I don't know. Cool. And then glass light, let me select those nodes. Yeah, I want to make those luminous, bright LEDs. So again, asset manager is good for this. There should be like reflective white. There you go, reflective red light, structured. You can find that reflective grey light. We want reflective white light. And one of them will be turned on and one of them will be turned off. Let's keep looking though. I think there's a better version somewhere. Here we are, headlight white. Apply to selected nodes. No, that's crap. There we go. Emissive white on. That's what we wanted. Look at that. Much nicer. And then this is where you kind of adjust the glass a bit because you don't want it to be too transparent. So interior transparency maybe? No. Or you can just turn down the incandescence of the emissive white if it's a bit too bright for you. Bring that down to like 5, maybe less than that, 1. There you go, it makes it a little less obvious, but still nice. And we'll do that for the rear tail lights as well, which really brings it to life. What's this surface here? What's this? Reflective plastic. We don't want that. Yeah, that's a bit much. Okay, we want that to be, well, those ones we want to be completely dark. This we want it to be reasonably dark. Maybe I can have it as reflective plastic, but not too reflective. Reflectivity, let's bring it down. It's better. Cool. Next. I feel like this dark chrome's a bit too dark now. Looking at it more. It's a bit better. What else? These guys. Select nodes. Okay. This is an important part. We want it to look nice. It's going to be reflective plastic. Let's assign apply to selected nodes. And we just want to make it much darker than that. Can even make it carbon fiber, which would be cool. Let's see if it has carbon fiber in here. It does, of course. Apply to selected nodes. That's cool, but now you just want to kind of tone down things, and the intensity of the carbon fiber is a bit much, so you go into pattern and change the pattern size and pattern intensity, but that all kind of varies. It's not as clear. I need a bit more pattern size on the pattern size. Oh, maybe intensity. Yeah, it looks realistic, but what about this? Yeah, this looks a bit weird, so I'll just select this individually, probably just make it reflective plastic. Another good idea is to delete the shaders you're not using anymore. So edit, remove unused materials, and that will just kind of reduce your palette a bit, which is good. Yeah, it's coming to life now. It's good. I might make the brush metal here a bit darker. Playing around with the chrome a bit, see what effects I can get. Might have to play around with that a bit later. Anyway, next. Oh yeah, I don't like the carbon fiber around that. So let's hide the glass. So we can play with this guy. Yeah, it looks a bit naff. Brush metal around there I think will look better. Let's try it. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe a bit darker though. So wait there. Is that doing the other side as well? Yeah. Yeah, that's cooler. While we are in here, what's this? Carbon. Yeah, it kind of works with carbon in there. These need to be darker though. That's glass, I don't want that. Give that a dark brush metal feel. Yeah, that's nicer. Cool, and let's bring the glass back. That's the tricky bit. Now all these tabs are open. Headlamps, here we go. There it is. Cool, and let's move to the tail lamps. Give that a bit of punch. Right, let's remove the glass from here. Oh, I didn't name it, of course. There you go. And select this red. Select nodes. So I feel like on the Audi. Alright, let's get the image up actually of the rear tail light. Yeah, so there's certain areas that are really lit up and certain areas that aren't. So I don't know. I didn't make sure I got this right in my alias prep, but let's hope that we can try and do something. No, you see. So for this to work now, this needs to be separated, and it's not. There is a way of separating them, but I can't remember. Maybe I can ungroup. But I don't think there's a way of ungrouping in VRED. Well, not that I know of anyway. Remove selected nodes. Oh, it works, good. So that's how you do it. Remove selected nodes. Boom. Right, so now we use Asset Manager again. Oh yeah, we just have to use the emissive white. Assign that, but then change it to red. Go away. Modify. Change to a nice kind of pinky red. Usually looks cool. Maybe not too much pink. To adjust that, you have to change the incandescence a bit. Just lower it to 5. Still a bit too pinky, isn't it? Cool, that'll do though. Still too pinky. There you go. Nice. And same for these guys. If we look at the image again, yeah, it's like just those slats there, and then the rest is just like a nice kind of jewel like red all the way around. I think we can get away with just, yeah, no, we'll have to definitely ungroup these guys. Edit, remove selected nodes. Again, same with this. Remove selected nodes. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, it's still doing it. So annoying. Yeah, these guys. Edit. And remove selected nodes. There we go. Surely that's worked now. Yep. Select these individually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's actually messed up around here. No, it's okay. And apply that emissive white, which is now red. Oh yeah, it's looking pretty cool. I'm not sure about that triangle though. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's not meant to be there. Anyway, whatever. It's actually meant to be trim divided in Alias, so hopefully you spotted that. If you didn't, no big deal. Still looks cool. Right. Next, this guy. Select nodes. Cool. So we're just going to change this to a nice kind of, I don't know, I think we could do car paint, put a red, give it some, maybe give it, yeah, some, try and give it some depth. So let's try, give it a nice dark base, and then a strong red flake colour, and this one as well. Looks alright, needs a bit of incandescence I think. Have a look at the image. It is like a glass in on itself, isn't it? So maybe I do have to give it a glass look. Select that. No. Select nodes, create material, create glass. We could even probably find a good one on Asset Manager, but let's try this for now. I'm gonna get rid of that. Exterior glass, color, dark. Interior, red. Accept. Oh, I haven't even applied to selected nodes. Okay, we're on the right track. Let's give it some reflectivity. Yeah, I don't think this is working really. It needs to be a much stronger red, doesn't it? Use roughness. Yeah. Alright, let's try finding something in Asset Manager. Maybe we'll find something better. Diamond red. There you go. This looks like it. Sorry, I accidentally unselected everything. Select nodes and apply this to selected nodes. That's cool, but yeah, again, it's too transparent, so the only way to fix that is to give it some depth. And that's what you need to do in Alias, really. Simulated thickness. Yeah, it needs to have like a surface behind it. So I can do that. Just going to be a bit annoying. Let's try it anyway. So we've got this. Alright, select nodes. Let's duplicate these surfaces. Edit. Duplicate. Where's duplicate? There it is. Just duplicate. Right. Oh, it's going to crash. And then we'll move those back. So get transform. And we want to move them in X. Just want to check that that's everything. It hasn't even got everything. That's so annoying. Alright, fuck that then. Undo. Right, try again. Select nodes. Edit. Let's just try copy and paste. Edit. Paste. You can do that obviously from your keyboard, but alright, still copying and pasting. And if it crashes, then I'll be very annoyed. Should have saved it like when I had that scare the last time, shouldn't I? Come on. Okay, so yeah, I just had to delete the the copied version of the offset version of the headlamp because it was making the file way too big. Something went wrong in VRED and it created multiple versions of that surface. So anyway, instead of making it look 3D, I just selected the material and created a chrome red, and it gave it a nice depth. So we'll go with that. And yeah, we're nearly there now with the materials. Anything else left to do? I don't think so. Oh, I'll bring the glass back on the tail lamps. Annoyingly, for the tail lamps I didn't name anything. All nodes, here we go. 1, 2. And then you'll spot little areas like this where the bake wasn't that good, so you just rebake. First I'm going to save it though. And hope that it works. There you go, it's got rid of that weird shading that was going on around the badge. What else? This surface here, oh, just check what this is at the minute. Yeah, that's just a default shader. Select nodes, we want that to be a nice reflective white plastic. So reflective plastic, apply to selected nodes, and we'll make that nice and bright. Give it a bit more reflectivity. And then you can add, like, to go up the LEDs in there, you can add glow to that. So to do that, I'm going to try and remember. Also, like at the moment, the camera is very fisheye, so we want to fix that too. So you go into this and camera editor, perspective, and the field of view. Change that down to like 30 is quite normal. 30 or 25. Let's put it at 30 for now. Now it's a lot less fisheyed, which is nice. And you also go into camera editor for image processing and glow. Enable the glow, and you get this nice sparkle. And when you up the incandescence of the luminous materials, you'll get a nice glow from them as well. So let's try it. Emissive white, intensity 3. There you go. Starts to light up a bit. 5. There you go. Same for the rear. Give them a bit of a glow. So here's the emissive red here. Whack that up to 5 maybe. Yeah, nice. Just makes it pop a bit more. And you can change the intensity of that glow. You bring it down a bit. Threshold. And this green at the moment, I'm not that happy with the green, it looks a bit muddy. It's already a bit nicer. Cool. Hopefully I haven't missed anything else. I don't like this chrome on here, on these. I prefer it to be brushed metal, I think. Create material, brush metal. Apply to selected nodes. I think that's nicer. And I think that's it. Right, so next step is rendering. You can change the contrast and saturation of the background as well, and that's in image processing. Color correction, look, here you go. So contrast can go up and down. It's way too much like that. I think it was fine as it was. Saturation. Again, I think it was fine as it was. Sometimes I bring the contrast down a bit, the saturation down a bit. Gives it a bit more realism. Yeah. Oh, I also noticed that these B pillar and C pillar are carbon. We don't want that to be reflected in plastic. And also, what was I going to do? Oh, bake the floor. Forget that. Make sure that's high quality. Like that. Oh, it's locked. So it's locked. That means I need to go onto materials, find this, the correct environment, and then select modify. Now I'm able to bake that floor, which is here. Calculator. There you go, sitting on the ground. Probably now we can actually edit that shadow. We can actually make it more intense. Less intense, more intense. I feel like I can also kind of lower the car, so to do that I'll just raise the wheels and then raise the floor. Let's get rid of these. Guys, go away. Go away. It's too big. Let's find the wheels. There they are. Select them all. And transform. Where is it? There it is. Translation in Z, and just move them up a bit. Not too much. And then also move the floor up a bit. There you go, sits on the wheels a bit better. And another thing people like to do is just rotate the wheels out a bit so it looks like it's sitting on them. At the moment they're very vertical. If I rotate them out, it makes it look a bit better, like it's sitting on its suspension, so I'll try and do that. It can be a bit tricky because you've got to, like, there's so many different nodes for one wheel. You've got to select them all at the same time and then adjust the rotation pivot so it's in the correct position and then rotate. There's so many different parts to it. That's why it's also good to prep your file in Alias to make sure each wheel has its own kind of folder, but I didn't do that this time. Save that for another tutorial. Right, let's get on to rendering it. So, oh yeah, that's too transparent. That isn't dark enough either. Nice angle though. Right, let's render. So to do that, you literally just click anti-alias and it will start to time it, but at the same time, if you want to adjust the quality, so there you go, it's going to start rendering now. Just when you click Raytracing. And this is just a preview, this isn't the actual render. But it's looking really nice already. Got a nice glow in here. Oh yeah, I forgot to edit the shaders in that. All the shaders in the tail lamp, but it's working well enough. Pretty cool. So yeah, I found some other cool environment which is actually better, and it has a seat plate for it as well, so when you render it, it looks nice and crisp. So let's use that quickly. I'll show you how to find it. is this one. There you go, look at that. I thought that was quite cool. And you can find the scene plate in Asset Manager as well, which is this one. And then to use that scene plate, you click the scene plate button, and there you go. Now you just have to manipulate your car or camera angle to fit on the road. And there's a nice little trick to this, and it involves a grid to help you get your perspective correct. So let's have a look. Here's the grid up here. You basically just want to kind of match these lines to the road marking, so I'm already pretty close. It does involve a bit of camera work as well, like obviously my focal length is a bit too small because it needs to like be more exaggerated. Oh no, not focal length, sorry, field of view. A bit too much there, maybe 42. Too much on the field of view. No, it wasn't enough. Maybe add a bit of roll to the camera as well. It's already got a bit of roll. Maybe it's no roll. That's helped a bit, but not really. More warp, but that just seems like a bit too much to me. Let's make the car visible so we can just see what's going on. Yeah, that's nearly there. And there you go, now the car looks like it's sitting on the road, and you can also check that by flicking between the scene plates. Obviously the IM environment's always slightly different to the scene plate, but if the road's doing something similar, then you know you've got the right camera angle. Warped it too much there. But it looks way too fisheye to me, so I'm going to reduce that to 5 at least. Right, down a bit more. Now it looks like it's not turning enough. Maybe you need more camera roll. 5 maybe. That looks better. Cool. And then you just kind of have to, you can use, you don't really need to use a ruler, but just to measure, just to get a realistic size of the car compared to the road. I think it looks okay, maybe it needs to be a bit bigger. And to do that I'll just move it like backwards. It gives the illusion that the car is bigger on the road. Yeah, that's pretty cool, and the car's pretty central. And then you just click render. Alias, anti-alias, Raytracing, for it to load. There you go, that's Raytracing. You click on the render. Make sure that's at 200 pixels per inch, and that's it. If you want to keep the